Testing, testing.
All right, we're going to get started here. Welcome to our February 12th Board of Education meeting. Can we please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're going to start with introductions. Can we start on this end and introduce yourself to the lovely crowd there?
Good evening, Scott Ashton, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources.
Good evening, Kelly Nevin, Assistant Superintendent for Business Operations.
Dana Schultz, Board Trustee.
Bill Hender, Board Trustee.
Dr. Cox, Superintendent of Schools.
Gus Huber, Board of Ed President.
Sue Harbour, Board of Ed Vice President.
Nicole Goldstein, Board Trustee.
Tim Russo, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction.
Debbie Verga, District Clerk.
Kyla Gruber, Student Ex Officio.
All right, so welcome everybody. We're going to start with our administrative report. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Cox.
Sounds good. Welcome everybody to our February 12th, 2026 Board of Education meeting. A couple of agenda items that we have this evening. First, we have a couple of community updates that Mr. Russo is just going to share with the community. Next, we have an update on our Smart Schools Bond public hearing. Our wonderful Kyla is here to give us an update on her student report. And then the last piece is something that I'm going to share with the community. It's sort of an update on the governor's aid proposal and how that impacts Commack, and a little bit about the process from when the governor releases her state aid runs in January until April 1st when she has to adopt a budget. So I wanted to provide the community and the board just a little bit of a timeline of what that looks like and what takes place in between. So at this point in time, I'm going to pass the baton to Mr. Russo to give us a quick update.
Thank you, Dr. Cox. Good evening, everybody. Just two quick updates, really, two things that we're really excited for. First off, Multicultural Festival this year at March 7th from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Commack Middle School. As we speak, our advisors and our students are planning a great day once again. Really a wonderful, wonderful community event over the last couple of years. It just continues to grow, so we really hope to see as many people out there as possible. Like I said, it's just a great day to celebrate all the different things that go on in our buildings and the different cultures and traditions within our district. So looking forward to seeing everybody there. And then the next thing is, if we can save the date for our Commack summer programs, our Cougar Camp, our Discovery Camp, and our music programs. Once again, we'll be running those summer programs, and we're excited to, as we start talking now about planning for it and all the different activities we'll have, and looking forward to, again, having some more information out about that shortly to get the opportunity to have our families register and be part of the fun this summer. So looking forward to all of that.
Thank you, Mr. Russo. At this point in time, we have an update on our Smart Schools Bond public hearing. Dr. Inforna.
Thank you, Dr. Cox. I'll split this tonight with Ms. Pulliam. There's two parts. First, we'll talk a little bit about the process and where we are with our latest Smart Schools plan, and then Ms. Pulliam will have the opportunity to share all the shiny things that we'll be using those funds for. So my role is really just talking about the process, right? So we've started this a couple of months ago. New York State outlines a specific set of activities that have to happen so that we can put forward a plan to SED for approval. So we've had our stakeholder input meeting. We put up, or rather we put together a preliminary plan. We came to the board last month. We presented that plan. We opened the 30-day comment period last month as well. Tonight is when we have our public hearing, which is at the end of that 30-day comment period. For anybody who wants to provide any comments, they certainly can before the board takes a look at the final plan, in which we anticipate approval so that we can send it to the state at the March board meeting. So that's where we are in the process. We're very close to the end there. We got two more steps left, and I'll pass over to Ms. Pulliam to share what we plan on purchasing with this plan.
Okay, everyone. So as a reminder, this process is being split into two plans. One, mostly because instructional technology and what you purchase for instructional technologies does not have to be reviewed by the Office of Facilities. So while these plans will go up simultaneously, they are in two parts, and the hope that our instructional technology portion of the plan will get a quicker approval. Within that plan is our ability to replace the remaining interactive flat panel boards in the districts. So we will be taking down the remaining projector smart boards or older model smart boards and replacing the remaining classrooms with interactive flat panel boards. We will also be adding in the portable boards that we've spoken about. And we are going to be adding wireless into the auditoriums in both the middle school and the high school to make sure that those can be instructional spaces for both of those areas. We are also going to be updating one of our art labs. The gaming den in particular is going to be updated within the Smart Schools plan. And then in the school connectivity plan, which is the separate plan, we are going to be updating our firewall, and that is where the wireless will come through. So again, that is what is incorporated in both of those plans, and any questions or comments can be done during the comment period.
Thank you, Ms. Pulliam. I'm going to ask if you can share the clicker with Kyla so she can provide the community and the board her update.
Hi, everyone. So recently I was able to visit Wood Park, which is my final primary school, and all the primary school students across all four of them really were so excited to tell me about the things they loved at their school. A lot of kids, obviously, like I said at the last three, love their art classes, love getting to spend time making new friends in primary school, all the things that they're learning, and just the experience they have overall. At Wood Park specifically, they were really excited to be able to show me their gym, which after every new year, they change up the scenery of their gym, and they have so many different stations of activities that they're super excited to participate in, and I got to visit right after the new year, so they were all super excited and it was super new to them, and they really, really loved that and all want more PE time in that super fun gym. Something interesting that Wood Park has is they have the 200 Club, and basically the 200 Club I found to be very interesting, especially because the kids really did love it. In their hallway they have a 200 Club poster board, and there's a bunch of circles and spaces for the kids to write their names, and the way they get to write their names is by any teacher or building, anyone who works in the building basically that sees them demonstrating positive kindness or any of the Commack champion traits. They get a little 200 Club ticket, and then they get to pick a number 1 to 200 and write their name on this board, and then when either a row or column gets filled up, they get a prize, which is something either like a toy or extra recess time, and they really love it, and it keeps everyone positive and demonstrating these traits. At Wood Park, they also were excited to tell me about their Wood Park Weekly, which is their news channel, and the second grade students can give updates to the school, which is a great leadership opportunity for these young students. At the other primary schools, there's been a lot going on as usual. They all took part in literacy activities. So at Indian Hollow, they had Literacy Week, where all week they had a mystery-themed literacy initiative. They had a scholastic book fair. They also had a children's author come to the school. And one of the mornings, kindergarten students were able to come in early and read books together. At Northridge, the first grade students participated in Stuffies and Stories, and they all got a book and a Stuffy, and all the primary students at my visits told me about how they love Stuffies, and the teachers are including it for them. At Rolling Hills, they had Literacy Night, where the students were able to come back to the school in their pajamas. They had crafts and a school-wide read-aloud, so all these schools were really incorporating the literacy and reading, and the kids had a great time. At the intermediate schools, they also did incorporate literacy, as well as many different events and activities going on. At Sawmill, they had their winter reading initiative, which they have every year. They had mystery readers, which were their teachers, and at the end of the school day, all the students got together for a school-wide read-aloud. At Sawmill, they also are participating in the First in Math Challenge, thanks to Dr. Fennessy. They're very, very thankful, and they really do love this initiative. They're super excited to be a part of it, and it's great because it's math. At Burr, they had the Chill Out and Read, and this took place at the end of their school day. All got together and were able to read as a school. They also started their Burr Bucks initiative, which is where students that demonstrate the Commack champion traits will get a Burr Buck, and then they can trade them in for different prizes at their school, and it keeps them demonstrating the traits. At Commack Middle School, they always have a lot going on, and in February so far, they've had their Student Government Carnival. The Student Government Carnival is for all the community to come. The students, they have a bunch of food, games, prizes, and the student government students really do put in a lot of time and effort into making this event great for all the students to come enjoy. So it's something they work really hard for, and they had a very successful event. They're also having 8th grade curriculum fairs, which they had, and the 8th grade students were able to meet with Commack High School students to learn more about electives and courses that we have at the high school, so they could solidify what they want in their schedules next year, and also learn more about what they're getting themselves into. We also had the peer leadership students, which is a club at the high school, go down to the middle school and talk to these 8th graders again about more of the fun things going on, like all of our spirit weeks, our events, again, our classes, and they were able to ask more personal one-on-one questions. And lastly, for the middle school, more high school students going to the middle school, they had STEM night at the middle school, where high school students held this event for 4th grade to 8th grade students. There were plenty of activities. I know that they had fingerprint forensics and 3D printing, and the students really loved it, and they enjoyed it, and it was a great experience for both high schoolers and the younger kids. At the high school, we're currently celebrating Building Confidence Week, which is also this year known as Acceptance Week. Every day is focusing on accepting a different type of thing to bring awareness to. Today, the students all wore blue for disability awareness and acceptance. So every day this week, students have been wearing different colors. Teachers have been mentioning things. There's activities going on in the cafeteria to build confidence and bring awareness. We also had the play at the high school, which this year was Mean Girls. It was a great play. Hopefully everyone got to see it. And the students, both acting in the play, the musicians, the stage crew, all the staff that put their effort into this play really did dedicate their mornings, their nights, their school days, a bunch of time into it, and they did a really great job. So yeah, I hope everyone got to see it, but it was really great. And lastly, over at the high school, we had our Wilson Tech culinary students. They were able to actually take what they're learning and bring it to our school, and they cooked lunch for over 800 students. Staff got to enjoy it as well. They made chicken teriyaki, and they had tofu options for those who don't eat chicken, and they also made a brownie jubilee. And everyone said their cooking was amazing, and it's really great because they're getting to take what they're learning in Wilson Tech and bring it to real life. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kyla. I think next month we will be highlighting Burr. And we had just that visit the other day. I'm sure many of you have seen it on social media, and it was just chock full of information. So we look forward to you sharing that out next month. And of course, at this time, Kyla, you're free to stay, but you're also free to leave.
All right. Yes, you can stay.
All right, thank you, everybody. So this is an opportunity to share a little bit about the governor's state aid proposal and how that impacts Commack for the 26-27 school year. So although the governor releases her first release of the school aid runs in mid-January, our budget starts pretty much as soon as we pass the budget in May. We start right back into budget season again. So a couple things here. At first, the release of the state aid runs happened in mid-January, and then in early March, the legislature produces their budget proposals, and then by April 1st, the governor releases her final budget. I wanted to take an opportunity to talk to you about some of the factors that impact state aid. because when you take a look at this slide, you will see that over the last couple of years, the percentage of state aid that Commack has received has declined. So at one point, it was 3.71%. In 24-25, you'll see that it went down to 2.92%. And for this year, going into next year, we received an allocation increase of 1%, which is a little bit shocking. So I want to talk about some of the things the major impacts of how this has sort of changed over the years, because the governor has taken a look at the state aid formula, and she has placed an emphasis on certain items which have impacted what Commack receives. So the first one that I want to talk about is something that's called combined wealth ratio. This is something that every school community receives. Now the state looks at a baseline at 1.0, and as you can see above that, anything above 1.0, the state considers wealthy. So when you look at the combined wealth ratio for Commack, you can see how it's pretty much stayed across the board above 1.0, and it got bumped up to 1.183. Now what plays into this is things like income taxes, home sales. So as those go up, the state looks at this, and the state produces this number. They produce it for every school community. Now there are a majority of the communities on Long Island who have a combined wealth ratio above the 1%. So when we talk about combined wealth ratio, and we look at, if I go back to this slide where there was a 1%, I will share with you that we're not alone in this. Okay, so there's probably close to 80% of the schools this year that received only a 1% increase in foundation aid. The other piece that plays a factor into the formula is enrollment. So as you can see in this slide, this shows the numbers, but in the next slide, you can see a little bit about the enrollment trend here in Commack. So you can see back in 2015, even before that, it started to decline. There's no secret that at one point Commack had 2 high schools, 2 middle schools. That was a long time ago. Enrollment has gone down. It continued to go down. But you can see that even in 24, 25, 26, and 25, there was a little bit of a bump. And for the most part, it's starting to really level off. As a matter of fact, when we look at incoming kindergarten this year, registrants so far, we usually see incoming classes that are under 400. We're looking at close to, if not over 400 students entering kindergarten, which is actually an increase that we've seen over the past couple of years. So you have definitely seen it level off, but it has certainly declined over the years. So the governor has, put together this timeline, but I want to talk a little bit about this because now's the time that we advocate. So I have spent some time, I have met with some of our local legislators or senators, and Senator Matera recently submitted a letter to the governor, and he is advocating for this region to see an increase in that 1%. What typically takes place is that the governor produces her state aid proposals in January. The Assembly and the Senate submit their proposals, and then negotiations takes place, and we are looking to hopefully see that 1% go up. But I wanted to share that with you, and you can see the decline in the foundation aid over the years. But I want to talk even more so about building the 26-27 budget. Regardless of those state aid proposals, there are certain non-negotiables here in Commack. The governor has decreased the amount of foundation aid over the years for Commack. We are continuing to commit to protecting our elementary class sizes. So you will see we have a budget workshop, and I'm going to share that timeline with you in a little bit. In March, we're going to have our first budget workshop, and we'll talk a little bit about those elementary class sizes and maintaining them and keeping them well below the do not exceed, as well as preserving secondary opportunities. We have spent a tremendous amount of time creating opportunities and access for all students in Commack. Everything from our students with special needs all the way through to some of our students that need to be challenged, and as well as the students in between. So preserving those secondary opportunities, things such as enrichment, access to courses, those are something that we're truly proud of. So we're going to continue to maintain these. I just wanted to present a timeline for what's coming up. So on March 12th, we'll present our first budget workshop. We will present the tax cap levy increase to the community. We will also present on how we're going to maintain and enhance our instructional programs. The second budget workshop is going to focus on facilities such as capital projects, update on the 2019 bond work. We do a tremendous amount of work in-house, which leads to a tremendous cost savings because we have a very talented crew in-house that's able to take care of a lot of projects, whereas most school districts will go out to have those done. We're also going to present on some of our security enhancements that we're looking to implement in the 2026-27 school year, and as well as some innovation and technology that we've done this year that we're going to look to continue to build upon and maintain in the 26-27 budget. And of course, on April 16th, we have our budget adoption. We'll be presenting basically the numbers, an overview of the budget. That leads to our May 7th budget hearing, and ultimately, we have our vote on May 19th. So again, I just wanted to take this opportunity to share with you some of the trends. But again, although the governor releases her state aid proposals in January, now is the time to advocate. I do know that the Assembly and the Senate across the state, like I said, we're not alone with the 1% increase, so they're going to be fighting for that to go up. And we look forward to seeing some of the results of that advocacy in the next few weeks and months. And at this point, that brings us to the conclusion of our administrative report, and I open it up to any questions from the Board of Education.
Questions? No? All right, thank you.
Yep, and so March again is our budget workshop number 1. Thank you, folks.
All right. At this point, we're going to move into our public participation. So I need to have our statement read by.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We're so glad you're here with us tonight. Your voice matters, and we truly appreciate your involvement and interest in our schools. There are 2 opportunities for public comment during this meeting. The first is for comments related to items listed on tonight's agenda. The second, which takes place at the end of the meeting, is for comments on any general school district matters. If you'd like to speak on an agenda item, please take a white card. If you'd like to speak during general public participation, please take a green card. The district clerk will call speakers by number. When it's your turn, please come to the microphone, say your name, and let us know if you're a resident of the district. Each speaker has up to 3 minutes to speak, and will kindly notify you when your time is up. Please direct your comments to the board only. These public comment times are for listening and gathering feedback. We won't be responding in real time, but if a question is raised that requires follow-up, we'll be sure to get back to afterward. To maintain a respectful and welcoming environment, please avoid discussing individual students or making personal remarks, positive or negative, about specific staff members. Lastly, we want to make sure everyone feels heard, so we ask that comments remain respectful, focused, and not repetitive or disruptive. Thank you again for being here tonight and for your ongoing support of our students and our schools.
Thank you.
Okay, this is for anyone that has a white card number 1. Okay, no one has a white card? Okay.
All right, so we're going to move on with the agenda. At this point, I'd like to acknowledge correspondence as listed. I would like to have a motion to approve the minutes from the December 18th Board of Education meeting. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to get a motion to approve the personnel agenda. Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, I think we have a special announcement here.
Yes, so we have someone in the audience who we're recognizing tonight who's moving on to the next chapter of their life, and that is Mrs. Tancredi, who is retiring at the end of this year after 20-plus years of service as the principal of Sawmill. And we just wanted to acknowledge and say thank you, and we're so grateful for all of your service, Ms. Tancredi, and I'm so glad that you're here tonight, and we wish you the absolute best. But the journey is not over. There's still plenty of months left in school. but we just wanted to say thank you for all your years of service. It's much appreciated.
Thank you. All right. At this point, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda, items as presented and/or amended. Can I get a motion? Motion. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to acknowledge the statement of professional services from Bond, Shonik and King for the month ending December 31st, 2025, in the amount of $19,576.40. Acknowledge the receipt for the December financial reports as listed. Acknowledge receipt of the internal claim auditors monthly update. Acknowledge the CSE and the CPSE recommendation as dates listed. And the Board of Education of the Commack Union Free School District shall hold its regular meeting on Thursday, March 12th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the Hubs Administration Building, 480 Clay Pitts Road, East Northport, New York. It's anticipated that the board will make a motion for the purpose of adjourning into executive session at this time. And at 7 p.m., the board will reconvene in public session for the purpose of holding its regular business meeting. Immediately following that meeting will be the board will be holding its first budget workshop, number 1. The Board of Education of the Commack Union Free School District shall hold its budget workshop number 2 on March 26, 2026 at 7 p.m. at the Hubs Administration Building. And at this point, we're going to open up an opportunity for a second public participation.
Okay, this is for the green card. If anyone has green card number 1. Green card number 2. Anyone with a green card? Okay.
Okay. Before I make a motion to adjourn, I'd like to just recognize Frank Palapoli and his crew. We had quite a storm, I believe, if you might remember it. Even driving in today, you look at how much snow there really was, like in your own communities and every one of these buildings, and that was a lot of work. And I just wanted to thank you, and maybe on behalf of the board, extend our thanks to the crews out there. It was cold, it was deep, it was not easy. So I appreciate all the efforts, and we all do. So thank you so much. Yeah, please pass that on. And at this point, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
And a,
To accept.
a motion to, motion to exit the meeting and go into executive session. Yes. Correct. Motion. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. So thank you all.